I know I do what you have to go through. Thank you. Much respect to you. Chris, appreciate you guys. Just protect us. Crown doesn't pay, it does. I need you on this. Wow. That's awesome. This thing all has today. Your vegetables chair. Bother me. That might OCD. Yeah, mine too. Mine too. Oh, goodness. Where does this go to? Never once recorded. Hey, watch it. And look to see if we had anybody on there. But that on regular report. Yeah. I'm sure there's a few people interested in it. It really doesn't. Well, that's the question. That's not. It's this came from the well, if you didn't love the chair, you know, like, you too. Exactly. They want to try to say that. This new thing, protein stuff, what's that one? In Austin, I had the place there, they're just nothing. Everybody, I protest, I had their phones like right in and on. Okay, I'm just standing here, in my mic. Yeah, all right. The special moment. All right, that's here. I was wrong. You look like a woman week ago. Not in the same place. Okay. You're gonna get a TC. Hey, how's it going? How are you doing? Maybe it was a place for all. Yeah. That's the question. Every day's a fun day. Every day. Paradise. Past year in there. We found 6 feet all the safety in a long time. Yeah, it shed its skin on top of it. I'm definitely afraid I would burn this place down. It was a rat snake. I don't care. Yeah, snake skin. It was a big one. You stretched that snake skin out across those two hands. Oh, it was stretched enough that it was all, it was like he said, it was stretched out. That one's so good. Very good back. That's what they came out of the ball. Out in the. Still here somewhere. Okay.
I did.
No, I have to go to the YouTube. I had been in there. This I changed the filter. Great. They're good acting up. They're watching now.
That's right.
Yeah. Somebody said, if you're waiting at the camera, yeah, I guess I.
Yeah.
Oh.
Morning. Good.
How y'all doing?
Huh? Happy every day. Happy.
You let me in?
So, we bought, my family bought, we bought that. And we moved it on our family. And now we keep it a septic system. And she says, I don't think. Yeah, they said it'd be okay. And now I think this, I've got a house. I don't know if I'm up here or not. 2 acres with 3 homes.
Oh,
You know, I said, there might be a variance or something we could do.
Scott, can you let me in?
So, what you call
I'm just thinking that I find.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, I'm all up and on for that one. My emotions are all messed up. I want to be somebody who's good.
After 5 years of it.
You crap road.
No, you could think that maybe 45, 4 or 5, 4 or 5 years of it. And it was happening before, but when I was trying. I don't.
All right, what are we gonna do? Sheriff's office, what department do you want to start with?
Well, y'all sent them to me, I guess, the sheriff, justice.
All right, we'll do the sheriff,
Chapter, sheriff's justice forfeiture fund. We're gonna get them all anyway, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, let's start with the big one, sheriff.
Which one?
It's on the screen. Out of the light. Okay. All right, well, remember, we're being recorded. All right, well, ask me while Brandon's out.
We ready?
We go to it. We'll be okay. All right. 9:04, we'll start our budget workshop for today, and we have the sheriff and chief deputy here. And I guess we'll start with the sheriff department first.
Which page are you on the budget?
72, if you're using the same version that I am.
That'll get me in the neighborhood.
How many pages do you show?
160.
Okay, no, it's not. This is a condensed version that doesn't have all the blank pages. So it's down toward the bottom. So I'm assuming, Sheriff, that putting the numbers in here, that's you're not asking for any new positions or taking any away.
No, let me see which one you're looking at real quick. I got 2 pair of glasses today, I apologize. Okay, so no, we're not adding, don't want to add any positions. What I did was, I'll make this real simple for y'all. The only thing that I added was, on the salary side was to bring, our case coordinator salary up to the other office ladies, which is, $2,100 more. So with that $2,100 though, it increases the social security, the 7.59%, workman's comp and unemployment for a total of, 25,10. That's it. So if y'all want to go line item by line item, we can. But
Yeah, that's the best way.
but that's the only thing that I increased
Okay.
as far as salaries go.
Alright.
So that increases the total personnel cost. If you look down there, 25,10, right there to the left. So, and let me just say this is my first time doing this as far as, this type of setting and budget settings. So, you know, looking at the numbers based upon, the expenditures before I got into office and to now, it looks like everything is right on track. I believe it's, 44% roughly around where we're at right now. And so, you know, everything is right on track as far as, where the budget is and where I'd like it to be next year. The same.
Okay. So, a few baseline items. Are you fully staffed? Have you?
So we can talk about that real quick. I'm happy to say.
Because that kind of affects,
Okay.
what you spent so far this year, if you know.
So, I can tell you right now, today, our dispatch is fully staffed. Our jail, we have one opening, but that opening will be, we already have applicant and he's already slotted to start, next week, I believe, with the
Okay.
12th or wherever it is. So technically, we do have one spot available in the jail, but we have a candidate that, all he's doing is taking the psychologicals and everything this week. They'll be starting here soon, so essentially we're full. On the patrol side, we have two openings, one patrol opening and one, captain spot open, and that's it. We got 5 deputies on the streets today, by the way, right now.
Really? Is that 24 hours or just,
No, just
daytime?
day, and we'll have 3 on tonight.
That's amazing.
So, and then we have a couple in training. Once those get off training, then we'll have 3 on during the day. Into a swing shift, we'll have 4, and then into the night, we'll have 4. Once the swing shift goes away, we'll have 3. Meaning once swing shift guy gets off work. So
We've got one in every precinct.
I'm sorry.
So we've got one in every precinct, which most of the time now.
Yes, sir.
With a captain, is that a captain that, or is it a sergeant that goes with them? Like, you had 5 out right now?
There's 5 out right now.
5 just deputies?
Yes, sir. Well, 1 sergeant. So once we get those guys off FTO training and all the others, then, we'll be sitting very nice. I'm happy to say that, 6 months into it and that's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And you're budgeting for those 2 slots that are empty right now?
Yeah, it's in.
They're already budgeted.
They're already in there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. They're already in there. Yes, sir. Yep.
So are you, planning to continue the, police academy?
So we have one that we start in July. He's already slotted to start. We're gonna pull him out of jail and he'll be starting in. And by the way, when we pull him out of jail, we already have applicants waiting to work.
Wow.
So
That's great.
we hope to not see any downtime as far as employees on that part of it. So to answer your question, yes, we do have 2 of those deputy recruit spots. One of them is going to school and the other one we're just waiting to put somebody else in there.
Okay. Well, I just go down and the office supplies is at 10,000 and we've been running, well, you're at 4,000 so far this year.
Yeah, so, you know, I look at the percentages and, you know, we're at 40%. So we're a little under, or a little over on the percentage. We should be around, if I did my math correctly, around 41, 44%. So it looks like that if keep the way we're going, we may need to pull from a different line item. A lot of that is paper and stuff like that that we use a lot of.
Okay.
Hey, Kevin, on your fuel,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you heard the other day, they're gonna take 20, we're not gonna have to pay the 20-cent tax, like for the road and bridge. You know, we've got the bulk fuel there, we don't have to pay the 20-cent tax anymore, so it's gonna cheapen up our fuel. What's your opinion if we had bulk fuel at the sheriff's office? You know, before the sheriff's somebody gets in there and fills it up. I know we'll have to have an emergency credit card in case we get stuff, gotta get gas somewhere. But if we had a bulk fuel station that we could fuel up the vehicles there.
So I'm all for that, as long as we keep the emergency Exxon cards.
Yeah, you have.
Because, you know, I don't have to explain to you, y'all know this. I mean, if we're way down south or up north or something,
Right.
I'm all for that. Anything, if it's gonna save us money, as long as it saves money, yeah, I'm good with that. As long as it saves money and, our response times aren't, affected by.
Do you think that emergency, I mean, this is hypothetical, but. Do you think we've used that emergency card that often? I don't know. You know, if deputies take it home, they come back, but before every shift, if that car, or Tahoe, whatever. The first thing you do is fill it up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's majority of the time, that should last a whole shift.
Sure.
Right?
So, no, if they fill up, well, it should, but sometimes they have to.
Yeah.
You know, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, sometimes or whatever. I guess, no, that's a great idea and I'm all for that. What I've seen other counties do too, they have, it's a, you know, a pin pad, you know, where you type in a number and mileage. If we had something like that and it was into one database, and then maybe if to each individual precinct barns, they could go in there and get gas to, I would say, the credit card as well.
So I think it'd be, especially in your department, a substantial saving on fuel.
I guess your initial cost would be a lick, just getting it set up.
Yeah,
But
get it
it'll
set
pay for
up.
itself. I bet it'll pay for itself in a year.
Yeah.
On that kind of thing.
Yeah, with the sheriff's department.
Well, just on mine, I figured it, where I'm running now, and the savings of $8,200.
Y'all say,
That's
I would
not-
surprised they say $50,000.
It may do it.
You talking about for the year, Fred?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's not a lot, but I mean.
no,
it is
it's
for me.
I mean, you know, that's a lot to me, but that's a lot of him. I can tell you that, I think we're spending around 14,000 more a month.
$14,000
Dollars,
a month.
I believe that's a little bit of.
You know the rate of our gas? Anybody? And you know the rate?
You could just say that probably in the $3 a gallon.
I don't think-
254
I don't think it's two,
is
it's
the
right around there.
Walmart,
It's two something.
254,
You're spending 14,000,
up to $3. Just use $3.
Just use $3 as well. But
so you're using 4,600 gallons. Is that a month?
Month.
A month times 0.20. $1,000 a month.
So
Yeah, so you're at 8. That puts us
For the
at
year.
12.
mine's at 8, that's a year.
That's on gallons. That's not, I don't think that's right. It'd be more than that.
Almost
Yeah, it sounded low to me.
Yeah, it's gonna be more than that.
$30,000.
So if he spends $14,000 a month. Divided by $3. That's 4,606 gallons times
$40. No, times 20 cents.
Well, we'd have to determine, it'll be a capital cost involved in installing a deal, but the question I have is right now, you have somebody that's reconciling all the charges for the gasoline, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you have the receipt showing how many gallons?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because there may be.
We get a printout.
Okay,
So,
so then we may, I'm waiting to see what the process is going to be to obtain this 20 cent. It may be possible that we can just apply for a refund of that, to show them the total amount of gallons that we've, purchased and get a refund from the state rather than, install a bulk station at the sheriff's office. So I need to find that out before we do
I
that.
think that would be
But
easier if.
It would, and that's what I want to find out.
well, ultimately, that's up to y'all, whatever y'all do, but, I guess the first question was, am I up for it? Yes.
Yeah,
As long as I can keep the cards, for
Right.
emergency purposes.
right.
Well, I can see where.
Not even really emergency purposes, we got transport guys to go around picking up people and things like that, so.
I could see though where having to come to the sheriff's department to fill up every day could be a problem for them, because most of them take them home, right?
Well,
They do, but they're,
they have to go in.
They have to-
they come to the office anyway. So
They have to
that's
come in to download their
Yeah,
video.
so that's not I'm not worried about
Well,
that.
either way, if like
Right.
Andy said.
Either way,
if
find
they
out.
wanna get the same.
Either way, if it's a savings, I'm all for it, and as long as, we keep the cards for just in case purposes, then, yeah.
Okay,
Anything to save,
okay,
that's
we'll,
fair.
we'll work on that.
With me.
But we should be able to lower that fuel cost, correct? If that's the case, if you're saving 20 cents a gallon.
That's why my total goal was, we could lower that 20 cents.
So what
That
you figured was roughly $1,000 a month savings
Yes.
by doing it. So you're looking at $12,000.
But also I want you to understand too, is that we should be, again, if somebody knows, please tell me. But I believe that we're supposed to be at roughly 44%, and I'm under that. I'm almost 3.2% already.
You should be at about 65%
Right now.
right now.
Well, the thing is, he hadn't had a full staff since the first of the year.
That's correct.
They've probably been half staff, so they haven't had patrol deputies out there to burn.
And you really can't look back at the last 2 years either, cause,
Yeah.
because he never had a full staff.
Right,
So based upon what you just said, Brandon, that puts me at, I'm gonna be, over 5% on that 200,000 based upon that number. Right. But I'm at 40.8. You said should be at 60, what,
65,
55, so that's actually 15.
so you're 25% low for what you should be right now, or what?
You're under budget.
Yeah, you're budget.
No.
If
If you
that's,
take,
if that's
if you
exact.
take 9,000 per precinct, that's 36 plus 15, you're talking about $1,000 in savings right there on fuel.
What is the date on that?
this is through April. Those numbers are through April.
So you should be about 57% in.
I'm at 59.2.
Yeah.
You're close to where you.
I was looking at that one on here.
Yeah, that's what, we did that yesterday on that one, remember?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at that one, not my actual
Okay,
budget right now. So yeah, I'm at right now. I'm at 59%, 59.2%.
You're right there.
You know, is that where it's supposed to be, pretty close.
okay. All right, law enforcement supplies, you got 89,000. What exactly is that, other than I know ammunition is one of the things I've seen.
Yeah, so ammunition's a big thing, and so for the next budget year, also I had to use some of that just recently for, some uniforms and a new vest. But that's also for this, whatever's left coming into the ending of this budget and going to the next budget. We're looking at some less than lethal options to equip our deputies with right now. Right now, we just don't have a lot of options.
What is a less than lethal option?
Tasers.
Tasers, Okay. And are those available through grants by any chance?
That's my song. That's my song.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
uniform,
Go ahead.
next line item is uniforms.
Uniforms, yeah, same thing. That's actually, that is gonna be zero. I know it says that there's some left, but we just had to, buy every deputy a new vest and stuff, so. And given the situation where we're fully staffed and everything, a lot of vests were actually expired. So that needs to stay the same.
Okay. How long are the vests good for?
5 years, I believe,
Mhm.
5 years.
Okay. All right, contract services.
That. No, that needs to stay the same.
Okay. I won't go down. What is
We have. A lot.
training at 15,000? Is that gonna be adequate?
Say again,
15,000 enough, adequate for training?
we're trying to always skip down counseling.
I'll skip.
Yes, yeah. That's fine. Because what, in the past too, and. From what I've seen, the T code was not used. And it can only be used for certain things, but the T code budget, which we haven't got there yet, wasn't used, so we started using the T code and this training together.
Okay,
And again, I don't wanna keep harping on this, but, you know, in years past, we haven't always been full. We're full now, so we're saying like, this week I got 2 in training, all week, and, next week I got 4 in training, so we're starting with the training really hard as well. So that needs to stay the same.
okay. Yeah, when you're fully staffed, you have that option now to do the
Yes.
training.
And they're super excited,
Yeah,
super excited.
okay, automotive maintenance. That, you got what? 10 new Tahoes or 10, you got trucks. Did you get trucks?
We got 3 new Tahoes, 4 trucks, right? 4 is the reverse, 4 new Tahoes, 3 trucks. And this number right here also, you know, I don't really know how to say that's enough or not enough. Because, you know, things break down, things happen, so it's just really the price of oil changes and just everything. I just know that,
And also the,
we are. That's automotive maintenance, that's where we're at.
that also includes,
Right now, I'm at 26% remaining on that.
it also includes, the deductible when we have a insurance, accident, we have to get the vehicle repaired. That covers the deductible, $1,000 deductible too.
So based upon the numbers that we're at right now, as of 5/31, without any more POs clearing, you know, we're gonna be over, because we're at 26% remaining. So.
Okay. Go down to tires and tubes. You're halfway there in April. I'm assuming that'll. How many miles? How often do you replace the tires? Is it annually or semi or every other year?
As needed.
As needed.
I mean, there's
Okay.
you know, they drive so many miles and you know, have flats, get stuff in the road, it's as needed.
Okay. And are you buying them in bulk?
We buy them from bulk from Tyler Goodyear,
Okay.
and they buy them from bulk, they deliver them and they unload them for us.
Okay.
Great,
All right.
love it.
Okay, maintenance service contracts. I'll leave it. Do you know what that's composed of?
The maintenance and service contracts.
Well, we'll move on. We'll leave it at 18,000, even though, for the moment. I'm gonna go ahead, what's, miscellaneous is at 10,000. That's probably about right, and already spent more than 5,000. We'll go to the next page. On there, equipment purchase is 28,000. So would that be the tasers?
So what I've used that for a little bit is, some car equipment for the old cars when something breaks, because we don't have it. There's nothing for really for that except for new stuff. So. And that right there, what did we do? We just did something. We could use that for tasers as well, but we're gonna need the other one as well, though, the whatever. We're gonna need that one as well too.
Okay, auto purchases, put the same amount as last year. What are your plans as far as purchases?
So, right now we got 7 old cars. One of them, a couple of them don't even run. And then we got some others that are just old at 2018s. And my plan is to get new ones. And that, once we get those new ones this next year, that'll put us at almost a whole brand new fleet. And that will give us, the county relief, hopefully. As long as we don't, no tornadoes come, tear our cars up or whatever. That
Okay,
would give us some relief for the, I guess that'd be the 26, 27 one.
so how many vehicles will have $530,000 per?
That should upfit,
What's your base cost and the up?
fully, that should upfit at least, 6 cars.
Do you retire those based on mileage or on age?
Well, right now this is my first time retiring, so I'm gonna say, age and mileage. Yes, sir.
Circumstance.
So, you know, there's some out there running right now that got well over 100,000 miles on them, but they've been taken care of. You know, so
So how many,
both, yes, sir.
Yes,
can you
sir.
put together a list of those vehicles you're wishing to retire? And so we can make a decision on what to do with those,
Yeah, that's fine. And you know, if
what their condition is.
yeah, I would say that I know that for sure a couple of them are no good, period. But the other ones we could probably reallocate to something that's not used as much
Okay,
to somebody that might.
because there's other departments that could use them.
Sure.
And that's what we're trying to look
Yeah.
at. to look
I
at.
mean, even if, I know some hospitals have reserves, so they can use maybe one of those for reserve constable, or Mitchell could use one for something, you know, whatever.
Well, and then, you know, on that list, make note of the ones that just need to go to auction.
Okay.
So
That's easy enough.
that are not worth our time and trouble to
Yes, sir.
try to get running again.
If a car goes to auction, whose budget does that increase? Does it increase the general fund or does it increase the sheriff's budget?
I can't,
I believe it's the general fund, sheriff's office. Once it's gone, we don't have no.
So if you retire a car, you don't mind it going to another department within the county?
No, no, sir. Nope. That hurts my feelings, but
and also by getting them off, well, we transfer them to another department, we don't lose it, but you know, if they're not drivable, we're not using them, or if we're paying insurance on them. And once we get rid of them, we don't have to pay insurance on them anymore. So that's kind of the objective.
I would do it, I don't know how it's done, but I know Road and Bridge, so I did it. When we auctioned one off, like you know, we have a truck go bad, or we sell it, we auction it off. And I take that money and apply it to whatever else I'm buying. I don't, of course, we have our own fund, but I think it should go back into the sheriff's fund into other purposes.
Yeah,
And that would be the down payment or something for the new.
I
Okay,
like that.
and what, that's if we auction it off, what if we use it for another department?
Well, that's different. If we, I mean, we're not selling it. But if
Okay.
we sold it and got the money should go to the sheriff's department.
Okay.
For down payment. Now, if we're transferring it, that's a whole.
You said it'd go back into his automotive budget
Yes,
for purchasing.
yes.
That would be great. I'm on board.
So we could get one. Could we keep the red and blue lights on?
No.
Sorry. I was just thinking about traffic control.
Okay. All right. Anything else in, sheriff department?
I believe that's it on that.
Okay,
On that. I want to point out real quick though, that you said we should be at 65, right?
Yeah.
Remaining?
No,
Spent.
you spent.
Okay, so it's 35.
Yeah, 35%.
So right now, we're doing okay overall, the overall budget.
okay.
I know this is for next year, but I'm kind of,
Yeah, June's about over with. I mean,
it's not often I get to talk to all four of you on the same time, so I just want you to know we're on track for the budget the way it is, we're on track. There you go.
Okay. Dispatch,
Dispatch.
I'm just going by what comes up next.
No, you're
on
fine.
the Screen.
Fine, I got you.
Doesn't look like any changes. in
No,
it.
zero changes.
Okay,
You're fully staffed there, you said?
Fully staffed.
that's, is it 16? I forget how many dispatchers.
16, 11.
11, okay.
Now, being fully staffed in dispatch, that's gonna fluctuate. I'm not gonna sit here and say we're gonna be fully staffed all year.
Right.
Not gonna say that. So, the comp time may, depending upon, will go down. And it may go up a little bit, but I can tell you that, but again, based on the numbers of just coming into it 6 months left, that's, I feel like that we're on track for what's here now.
Well, they'll be, very busy with the new radio system and learning it. And, there'll be a lot of comp time, I'm sure, for the initial month or two
Yes, sir.
when we got it.
Do you think the pay raise that we gave them in the past 2 years, not just dispatch, just overall, your whole deal has helped retain it, keep the morale up over there? Cause y'all haven't lost many at all or anything. Wow.
I mean, I'm not gonna say pay hasn't helped. Yeah, I'm sure pay's helped a lot. Yeah. Absolutely. So.
Y'all don't have as much turnover as we had in the past. I don't really.
Underneath, so far as of January 1st, the answer is no, we have not had near the turnover rate that we've had in years past with, as me working there as well.
Mhm. Okay,
Your,
so,
your officers are pretty impressive too. I appreciate it. Just the little calls I've seen them work, they're impressive.
I appreciate that.
It says something about
Very, I'm still super excited and very pumped, and I know that I got there at 5:30 this morning, and there was a deputy coming in and working. He goes, "All right, I gotta go get into something." So they're excited as well.
Yeah.
They're not, that's all.
Adrenaline junkies.
Say again,
They're adrenaline junkies.
they're ready to go. Yeah, that's it. They're ready to go.
all right, ready for the jail?
I believe so.
That's the big and the homie.
All right, so I'll just break this down for you just real quick. You'll see an increase. And I think I spoke to, kind of told y'all my plan a little bit, here and there. We have a part-time clerk in the back that, I believe needs to be a full-time, and, I need a maintenance man. So just to break the numbers down for you, I got them right here. The to bring the part-time clerk to a full-time. This includes the extra social security insurance, workers' comp, unemployment, all that. It's $31,268.47. So there's an addition that you'll see on the very, the line there, the top line. And then, to bring a maintenance, person on at, a rate of $45,150, which ties into the support staff, that we have. The social security insurance, 7.59, which comp employment brings it to 63,536.71. And that's the only change that you'll see within the jail, budget as well.
Okay. I think having a maintenance person will make a big difference.
We have to have it. It's no brainer.
So, that's,
What did you say you figured for a maintenance guy?
45,150. Which is the base rate for, all of my clerks, my administrative assistant, just my records management, evidence technician. That's the base rate.
Do you already have somebody that you're thinking about for that position?
Well, I don't like to put the cart before the horse, so no.
Well, what I'm asking, I don't know that you can get a truly maintenance guy for that knows what he's doing.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to spend more money for it, but.
No, I understand. I understand. So, and I appreciate that. I just, the answer is no, I don't. And because I don't want to go out there and start asking people, would you want this job for this? Because I don't have that position.
Yeah, so I just hate to see you get somebody in there
What's your recommendation, Bobby?
for that money and then them not be able to do but $30,000 worth of work.
Yes.
So what's the number?
I'm thinking that to get somebody that knows what they're doing, you're talking 52 to 55.
I agree.
Sure. So you have to be a, jail certified position? Or
No, sir.
it's gonna be a strictly 40-hour employee?
It's like 40-hour employee, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's just my thinking. I mean,
I agree with you. 55 would be more appropriate if you got somebody that has mechanical
if you get somebody
knowledge
that knows what
on
they're doing.
plumbing and heating and air conditioning.
Yeah.
on that.
It would save money.
Go ahead, say it.
So, yeah,
What about you after hours, like on?
No, sir. I've done 25 years of that, I'm through.
if you've done 25 years, you might know somebody that wants a job then. You know anybody wants a job?
I can check.
If the commissioner court so approves, gentlemen, I'll take whatever. I'd love to give any increase for anybody.
Well, the thing about it is.
Yeah.
It makes it,
Gotta be realistic.
if you get you somebody that knows what they're doing, it makes your job easier too.
Yes, sir.
Because you don't have to, or your people do not have to go back and check on it. You don't have to be calling people in. AC guy, plumbing guy, if you get it, go ahead and pay a guy that can do it.
Yeah, you can get a lot of people that can diagnose things, but there ain't everybody that can fix something.
Exactly. And then, you gotta have, even on the diagnostic end, he's gotta know what he's doing.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm saying is, if I would much rather see you go ahead and add it up to 52, 55, whatever, and let's look at try to find somebody that really knows what they're doing.
I would say 55.
That's what I want to put down there, 55. Okay,
I think you could do somebody. I think.
Gonna get 60.
Well, that's what he said over here.
That was gonna be my number.
Hey, no.
What kind of benefits?
Well, by the time you figure the county.
Well, we can't pay him more than the sheriff though. That just wouldn't look really good.
I don't know. I can't pay more than that, but you get to make us pay on that jail, which we definitely need. That's where it's weight of gold right now.
Okay,
That's your mark.
it,
Yeah, I mean, you know, the jail lieutenant makes, 54,628. My jail lieutenant. My jail lieutenant makes the 54,628, so, you know.
But the thing about it is that maintenance guy will make you money.
Okay.
all right, the custodial supplies, 45,000.
I'm sorry, let me write my notes wrong, so I know. Okay. What was that, sir? I'm sorry.
Custodial supplies, 45,000.
Perfect.
Now, how much of that actually gets paid through commissary funds? You know?
No, sir, I don't. No, the commissary fund, I don't, they're different. So I don't know,
Okay.
custodial, I don't know.
And
That,
so 45 sounds pretty much in line with
yes, sir.
the inmate food.
Mm-hmm.
How are we doing on that? We've done 272 and 24. And what are you at right now?
Custodial supplies, the custodial supplies also takes care of the whole building, not just the gym.
Okay.
Inmate food, all right, let's see. Yeah, we're right on,
Hey, before when you get through with that, can I ask a question about the maintenance guy?
so the inmate food, I mean, we're under, I mean, we're over, we're getting, based upon this, we're gonna be over budget as well, so, I mean, you know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Should we budget more for inmate food for this coming year? I see we've been running 115 to 125 for many months, and then now we're up to we actually have what, 11 prisoners out.
Yes, we got 11 out, as of this morning.
Are those mostly
I'm sorry,
women?
we have 13 out of county as of this morning,
Is that mostly women?
most of them,
Because I saw that their cells are full.
yeah, for some reason, the women population is getting higher, so.
So I think you need to bump inmate food up.
300,
I go 280.
I'll meet you in the middle, 290. 280 is fine, Judge, I'm just. So you're saying 280?
280.
Bobby would have asked for 390. They're right.
Not after he found out what his budget fund really is. Fund budget, what do you call it? Fund balance.
Fund balance. I'll take a fund balance.
All right, uniforms, 8,000. You can be good with that. And
Yes, sir.
building supplies, 12,000. That's quite good. We done. So down contract services, 350. Now, what I discovered when I was doing my budget presentation is a lot of that contract services is for the medical. Apparently, our contract with medical, we have a contract amount that we pay is like 21,000 a month, and then there's anything over what our contract amount is. That's what gets applied to the medical down in the medical line. So not all that 350 was it. We've been paying about 50,000 a month for medical, which 21 of that is the contract part, and then the rest is down in medical. So I guess the question is, how much of the contract, how many? what do you show as the current amount under contract?
49% remaining.
Okay. So you're in good shape for the rest of the year. Of course, you haven't had outsourced, you hadn't outsourced any until now.
Until recently.
Yeah.
We, here and there, we have a few here and there,
Mhm.
but, this past month and, the ending of last month has been, some outsourcing.
What's that rate for now?
It's
I guess
different.
no, it's already said.
Say again?
What's the rate from the outsourcing?
It's averaging around $45 or so.
We have sweetheart deal with Athens.
Just
I
say
mean,
that.
with Henderson County.
It's cheap.
Yeah, we have a sweetheart deal with them.
Sheriff Fieldhouse, he does, he helps out a lot.
Yeah. It's been many years we've had that deal with them. We work well with Henderson County.
And the reason why I said an average of a little bit higher is because sometimes we put them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm fine with 350 if you are on the contract services and the medical expense.
So we got a indigent medical expense, inmate medical expense. Jeez, please.
So training 8,000,
Yes, sir.
that looks good. Travel. Now, is that this is a jail, so what travel would that be? That wouldn't be, your transport travel is under the sheriff's office, correct?
Yes, but the transport, if they have to, go stay the night somewhere on a transport or something like that,
Mhm.
we include that into travel for,
On the jail side?
jail side.
Okay. Electricity, gas, all those water. Look appropriate. Repair and maintenance buildings,
Mhm.
192. What do you show as current spent? Because I know you've had some
So
expenses in the
it
last.
shows, this was the end of last month, it shows 54% remaining, but I can say that we just did a couple of POs for, one was 8,000, another one was 5,000. So we have some, I mean, again, we're pretty well on track with the percentages and the guesstimation on the
Yeah.
expenditure, so,
Okay, so you're good with that?
yes, sir.
All right. Repair and maintenance 15. What does that mean? Repair and maintenance machinery, non-office? Is that like kitchen?
Yes, sir, just different, appliances.
Because I know we replaced all appliances in the kitchen last year or year before last.
You did?
I believe Sheriff Hendricks did. Well, they had it coming in.
And well, I can tell you that the freezer don't even lock.
Okay.
There's no, it just, luckily the seal is good enough to keep it shut, so I don't know what appliances y'all replaced.
Okay. Well, I think it was the, I'll have to go back and look. I rather talk off the top of my head, but you know what need, do we need to consider replacing the freezer or repairing it?
Absolutely, yeah. And so, and when I took office January until now, I've been very tight to get my own assessment of what I think needs to be done and what everybody else needs to be done. So the numbers that are here now, as of the end last month, some of them are high because I wanted to see what really needs to be replaced or fixed first as a priority list. It's kind of like the way y'all do your roads, you put them priority. So now that we're getting towards the end of this, I've instructed the jail captain, lieutenant, okay, now let's start getting these things fixed, taken care of in priority. So that's why that number to date is still high, meaning as far as remaining percentage. But what you're going to see is it's going to dwindle really quick here in the next couple of months.
Okay.
That's stuff the maintenance person may be able to fix. Again, that's something the future maintenance person may be able to handle. Yeah, to keep the maintenance up, yes, sir, absolutely.
That was what I was gonna ask about the line item that person can pull out of for tools and parts and things like that they kind of.
Well, if you back up to the repair and maintenance on the building, that I would not recommend reducing it now. But that would be something that would probably be reduced after you got a good maintenance plan, because you're not gonna be spending much on labor. You know, you're already gonna be paying him, so that could possibly come down.
Yeah,
But-
day-to-day maintenance would definitely help.
I wouldn't recommend that.
But they need somewhere to get parts and tools and whatever. And also, I'm thinking the person at very minimum need a county cell phone with 8x8, so. Maybe even a computer, I don't know. What your plans are, but
Well, yeah, they would need a phone for sure.
definitely a phone where you can get email and 8x8. So the person can get, 8x8 wherever.
And thank you, Scott, I'm glad that you said that, because, I don't figure phones and computers and anything whenever I wanna add the maintenance man or whatever else, right? So I'm glad Scott brought that to our attention, so those numbers won't reflect in anything that I. So, just to be honest with you, I just say, Scott, I need a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he goes, okay, here's one. So, and he's always been very good to me in any of those matters I've ever had. So, yeah, that, thank you. That doesn't reflect in anything that I.
We can talk after, but phone is enough, or if you're thinking maybe also a laptop or a tablet or something.
Yeah, something like that. Cause he'll definitely have a little maintenance office where he needs to order parts or
Sell.
sidewalk, sorry. Yeah, everything is good. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
okay. Bonding and city maintenance and service contracts. All right, we got,
So at the very end, I just want to reiterate one more time,
you got a couple others.
I want to do,
Okay,
let's get those.
you got capital expenditures of 73,000 under the jail.
The equipment. What you talking about?
Oh, that's the total line.
Yes, total.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Down at the
Yeah.
bottom. What is that for?
So the equipment is what we talked about earlier. That's still intact because I wanted to wait until, towards the end of the year, we prioritize them. It just kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier.
Okay,
If the, and I'm not a.
would that be like a new freezer?
Exactly. I'm not a man scout. I don't know, and prices change day to day, so I'm sure a freezer door, or even if we can even get one to match that one, no telling how much that is, so.
Does it have a locking mechanism on it, like a key lock or whatever?
No, it's just one of them old, the pull ones, you pull it, it's got the push rod out in the inside where you push it, but it's been, fixed and refixed and fixed again. There's silicone, all you do is pull it. Now,
So, and
the food is still good, everything's still good.
Yeah.
It's just can't,
It's doing its job.
Get it up to
It's not
400 degrees,
efficient.
it's good.
yeah, that's it, yes, sir.
So that's also where your maintenance person. They'd be the one to be able to come up with all of kind of cost figures.
Yeah, Bobby will fix that.
So your maintenance guy will be under your jail administrator, like that, who would be, he'd answer to
Yes, sir, yeah.
all the time.
He'd be over, my vision is be underneath the jail administrator, but also over the whole facility.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't wanna just hire a maintenance guy to come in there and just do kitchen.
Yeah, no,
You won't want.
No, I understand that, it's just, it's like,
but
cause he won't be a certified electrician or anything like that, I mean, it's not,
He may be certified in something.
Yeah.
do you have to have that? I mean, like, you have to have certified people to work on your jail, don't you?
no.
No,
Because like.
I just figured jail standard.
Where, with me working where I worked at, I did not have to be licensed or certified in anything. Because working for,
So what's his day look like? changing out filters and,
Yeah, who knows? It varies.
I mean, what kind of problems do you have, Jill?
So
Something-
like, this past week, I believe the judge knows we've had to shut down 2 8-man cells for a total of 16 beds because of, the plumbing just doesn't work. It broke.
Is it the
Flushing
mainline stoppage or something?
The flushing mechanism broke or, somebody, so, the day-to-day vision to me is again, prioritizing, okay, what's broken? And what need to be fixed first.
Okay, I was just curious.
And if there's any downtime, which there should not be, but if there is, then, we can touch up some paint here and there, whatever.
Cool.
Chase them down, some of
That answered my question.
Yeah.
I was just curious if they had to be, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
And the chief brought up a good point, it would behoove us to, have this maintenance man go to jail school. That way, if they need to, take a trustee or have a trustee help them or something like that, then we can.
They'd have to be
Make a
certified.
jailer out of it.
You use him as a multi.
Well, not make a jail out, no, that would defeat.
Would he hold that license? Would that, do you hold that?
Oh, we hold, yeah, we would hold that, yeah.
But that make that position eligible though for.
Would it make what?
No, because they wouldn't be,
They were not a police officer.
Okay, there wouldn't be the title would not be jailer per se, it'd be just maintenance man, just a jail certified, with the advantage of having a helper. If need be.
Okay. All right.
So. Well, I'll say, I wish everyone was in here to see this, because this is the bulk of our budget for the department. And he had, he went at the lowest percentage, and I think we all took those, including us. An example off of this, we can save a ton of money, go somewhere else, we could budget like.
Well,
Be good for them.
I have to point out, some of my budget increases were actually from this increase.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I do pay for a few of
Don't
this.
start scrolling No, that's fine, that's fine.
I gotta buy it, and that's plus my first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your problem.
So, did you have any other sheets that you needed to go over? I don't have them all. You took-
Nope, they're all. Gentlemen, I didn't change anything, everything exactly the same.
One that you gets overlooked all the time is courthouse security. Were there any changes there?
There was no change.
Okay, courthouse security.
One of the things related to courthouse security is that if there's 3 assigned here and there's 2 courts running, that leaves just 1 down at the desk if there's a problem. So I was thinking maybe send the judge through, and get him certified so that he could, go out there and tackle, if there's a problem out at
Yeah.
the front.
We'll put him through jail school, well, actually, you went.
I did go.
Yeah, so there you go.
I did it online.
Get
Maybe we
him
should send him
T
to
code
jujitsu.
certified,
Yeah, we'll give him.
T code certified.
But
That way,
I've been fired.
he could also pull people over in the extra cars that you have, if he's on his way home or whatever the case may be. That's what I'm thinking.
We'll put him through a strenuous FTO program, I can assure you.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Sure, there's an ad that goes to courthouse security, but it's not for you, it's, I got a request to add the, computer for the 3rd floor, they.
Uh-huh.
What?
The cameras in the boardroom, I got that from the judge. But I've already. Started back to this.
It was.
So would that be a laptop?
I'm thinking it needs to be maybe an all-in-one, something, because the request was to view camera, so it's gotta be a big enough screen
Mm-hmm.
to do that.
TV.
Yeah, and you don't really need much footprint,
Right.
on the processor, you just need something with enough screen and video to look at.
Agreed.
That's basically all that's gonna be done unless they're gonna be looking for warrants on it, I don't know, sometimes they do that.
So,
You could use a laptop with an external monitor.
And I could do that. And I know that the county,
That's what all these are practically.
takes care of the county, the courthouse sergeant. And that's basically what this is for, is for that one officer, or one deputy is this. But I can tell you that, and this is just not to say increase anything, but I'm just telling you, the uniforms 400, and the training 1,000. You know, that's great, that's fine, but I can tell you that it costs way more than that. So the other budget from the actual sheriff's, budget takes care of a lot of that, so. But that's okay, that's no problem. Equipment and stuff like that. Yeah, equipment, uniforms, sort of, you know, everything comes out of, generally,
There it is right there.
yeah.
Yeah. Judge.
So,
Judge,
What's the
on the
question?
sheriff's department, we get that $500,000 grant every 2 years, is it? I mean, we got it.
We apply for it, yes.
Yes,
Every year you
For the-
apply for it.
for the salary.
Yes, that was passed, we're on our second year of it and the state legislature continued the program. So we'll have another 2 years of it.
That's, I was just making sure of that, because if it didn't, then we had to.
And
That
there is a breakdown. It goes to the jailers and to the patrol deputies is the main people that it goes to. And the current,
It did get passed.
yes, it did. And so, and that's roughly $9,666. That goes to each one of those positions that we just mentioned.
so there is one other thing. Am I okay to continue asking questions?
You are
Okay.
welcome to ask the question.
They're gonna talk about all. I do wanna just bring something to y'all's mind real quick. And I know that, Joe Carr talked about it, and I would like to revisit it just real quick. The lap salary that we don't use. I know in the past, it's been asked if we could use it for more salaries. That is not my intention for this question. I'm fixing to ask you. My question is, I would like to use the lap salaries, to buy, either equipment, some new furniture for the sheriff's office, something for, for the jail, just really anything that, would help the employees out. Anyway.
You said something about tasers too, didn't you, there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, because I don't feel that, and that goes back to the equipment, I don't think that outfitting, with the new training, the new tasers and everything, it's just not gonna be enough of what we're gonna have to go from this budget to the next budget, so. I just feel like.
So do you have a number that you have figured?
So I do have a
calculated?
number of. Based upon what is left in the budget now. I'm sorry, let me get to that number here real quick.
What I'm gonna suggest is that,
It looks like, and I didn't interrupt that part, but it looked
go ahead.
like, if my numbers are correct now, granted. Know that there was, not a lot of positions filled in this budget, so, if my numbers are right, it's right at, 101,000. Roughly, now, I'm not a mathematician, but I believe that's roughly where it's at. I can get with the auditor or whatever, find an exact number, but I'm guessing that's gonna be right where it's at.
there's gonna be some of the SB 22 money available. Because all those budgeted positions, that didn't get filled or that lapsed, that money didn't go to them. And that money, is still available to us for equipment.
Yes,
To do equipment, so plan on that. I know it was about 80,000 last year.
Okay, that's over.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
that was allocated to the, and we'll start calculating that probably in August or somewhere around there.
Yes, sir.
So that we make sure we get it all,
Yes, sir.
because we have to go through, but yes, there'll be money in that fund available.
And and that goes back to just a little bit of something, Commissioner Barton said is that, if we sell a car, auction off a truck or whatever, it generally goes back to the general fund, which hey, that's fine, right? But if we have some lapsed salary or lapsed whatever, I would request this one time, or maybe even the future for next year's, after I'm gone in 15, 30 years. That, hopefully, that, you know, that they have the option as well. For some needs that
Right.
that come arise. So, because if not,
Well, if it's,
it goes back into the general fund. And that's fine.
well, I look at it as, you know, if we budget and we didn't spend it, if it's something that's going to help us reduce next year's budget. In other words, things that you're gonna have to budget for next year, but if we can get them now, you know, I think they did, but yeah, probably back, as soon as we, in August sometime, then we need to sit down and figure out what that number is, and
Okay.
then you come up with a plan, and then you come before the commissioner court and request it. And, you know, just show what you got, what you need to use it for.
And I think the concern in the past, is like maybe some unexpected overtime might come up, or we might have to pay out some employees. So you don't want to drop that way down.
Unexpected overtime for what?
I think the concerns in the past, whenever they wanted to take money from salaries down to lower items, was that there could be some unexpected overtime, there could be some
The comp time?
comp time payouts, and things
Right.
like that.
Well, they've got a budget, they got.
But there's a lot.
Comp time budgeted.
Well, I can tell you, we have a line item for comp time, and we've also capped out the comp time at 40 hours. And, since I've been in office, January, we have only, lost two deputies. And one of them, I'm not going to specifics, but anyway, they moved on to bigger and better things.
Mhm.
So,
So, I think that's,
thus far, the turnover rate has been, I don't know, number two, because it's been so low. And
that's great.
we're very excited, so.
That's great. People do not realize the cost of turnover. You know, the cost of training and educating people, to get them up to speed, and the, mistakes that new people make that cost the county. So, anyway, all right. Is there anything else, Sheriff?
No, I appreciate y'all.
Chief?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Sure. Nothing else? Nothing? Thank y'all again, I appreciate it.
It's quick before the sheriff in jail.
You want it to be faster than that.
Well, it was, took longer because everybody had questions. We didn't know, you know, exactly how things were working out. We're getting our annual update.
My budget compared to yours, I might fall asleep on this. Yeah, see you next. I guess I made it.
So, yes, you are next.
All right.
Now, did you need to do JP4 or are we doing?
Well, I'm gonna do JP4 first, but it's
Okay.
not a lot of changes, but. And so we'll go JP4 and then we'll go into youth diversion after that.
Go wrong.
I am. I can't.
Just if you're looking for the JPs, just go all the way to the very bottom. We're always at the very bottom and the very last, so, and when you're JP4, you're even the. Yeah, maybe the last one, yeah, maybe on page 300.
It's at the top there, Judge. Keep on going, keep on going, keep on. Go ahead, Rick.
There we go. All right.
Okay, y'all ready?
Yep, we're ready.
Okay. Of course, I'm always here to fight for my employees.
Mhm.
And I really appreciate that the commissioners court seemed like today that y'all understand the value of an employee that is trained, like a maintenance man that knows what they're doing versus one that didn't know what they were doing. Because I have a clerk that has been in the county 28 or 29 years as a JP clerk.
Mhm.
And that's a huge benefit to me and to you guys. And so that's why I'm always here to fight for her, a raise or a longevity raise or something. Because the problem is, we can hire a clerk tomorrow to make the same thing as my clerk that's been here 29 years. So anyway, you understand that's a huge value to my court, and y'all evidently y'all recognize that. So
I'm always here to fight for my employees. I asked for them to get a raise this year. My suggestion is 5%, but I know that's not my choice, but I just want y'all to know I'm here to fight. Okay, I think that she's definitely worth it. Anyway, so then we'll move on down from that. Office supplies, I just asked for a small increase just because, everything's going up. Everything that we buy goes up and, we showed that we were real good at, the time that this was printed. We still had, we were at 55%, I believe, spent, but, there's always things that we need that we kind of wait because our number is so low, we have to kind of wait till the end to make sure we're gonna make it on everything
Right.
else to buy envelopes or, to buy this. So with that number will go up. So I asked for a small increase. Postage, I didn't ask for an increase. One thing that helps us on postage is our collection agent that we use, GHS Collections. They send a lot of stuff out for us, so we don't have to send them out. So that doesn't change much.
You do know postage is going up
Yes.
in
So we-
July.
So we always buy as many forever stamps as we can at the end
Okay,
to try to make it, but we can still make it. Like we're gonna be okay on that. Contract services, I don't know exactly what this is. It used to be monies that we collected, like our collection agent gets 30% of monies that we collect, and it used to be that number, but the auditor several years ago took that out, and so I don't know if this is,
I believe the collection agency charges the people are collecting from.
No, that,
I don't.
no, that's 30%, but that number's a lot higher than that. Used to, it was in that number,
Mhm.
but the auditor at some point said, hey, look, this is not the right spot for this. This is actually income that we collect, and we're just giving them their percentage. And so it's not in that number no more.
Okay,
Like DPS, is there anything you have to pay them when you send stuff to them?
GHS,
DPS?
is this our copy machine?
No, copy machines through me. I'm just thinking. It's gotta be something that, like your collections and not your collections.
all right, move on and
Okay.
I'll look it up while we're
You
talking.
can look it up. It used to be monies that we collected for our collection agent. What I think it is now is Omni fees, to be honest with you. I think it's Omni.
That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, for the state. Yeah, I think it's Omni fees, but I'm not 100% sure.
So OCA or PSRS?
Well, Omni fees, they get, to like $10 on every old case that we collect or something that we write them a check 3/4 out of the year. So there's, it'll be that number. If that's the case, that number will probably be closer to about 800 this year by the time we get the other order in and finish up. And so, anyway, that's what that number is. And then, training, just asked for an increase because I have a new part-time clerk that I need to be able to send. And the reason some years I don't spend as much on training as others is because my full-time clerk, our school that trains, they only have so many schools. And so they let the younger clerks always go first. And so there's a lot of years she can't get into a school. So I don't know if she's going to get in. I mean, every year she tries to get into a school. And so some years she does, some years she doesn't, but I need to send my new clerk to a school also. So that's why we might not spend that much this year because she didn't get into one, but she tries every year. She's the first one on the computer signing up to get in. So that's training. Mileage, I think I'm gonna be good this year on my mileage. And that's mileage, just reimbursement for travel to the jail and inquest and stuff like that. The subscription and dues, that's just money we pay to be a part of, Justice Court Training Center, the people that train us, we have to be there. The $200 bonding, this is not bonding for me when we get elected, we have to pay that year, because that'll be next year for that position. This is notary stamps for my clerks.
Okay.
That up there. Jurors expense, this is every time we have a jury trial, we have to pay them so much per person. We normally have about 2 big jury trials a year. The DA really helps us with that, trying to get most of these cases resolved and not going to trial. Sometimes we just can't help it. And so I have to have some money in there. This year, I think we're going to be fine, but 500 has been working. Miscellaneous 100. That's really it, guys. I mean, I didn't change much right there.
Okay. Any questions?
Questions?
I'd be interested to hear what you find on that contract services line item.
I'm fixing to look it up.
I'm pretty sure it's Omni, but see what that is. You know what Omni is? Omni, so if you get a ticket, you know, since warrants aren't really that effective on Class C warrants right now, because we can't put them in jail. So, and so Omni is.
And that's because the sheriff's department won't take them?
They had to
Pretty
have room.
much.
It don't justify you sending an inmate to another county and paying for that, so I can put a Class C in jail overnight. Fill on the bed tub. So, and there's times if we, in a situation that we need to, that we work it out with the sheriff, but overall, Omni's more successful, I'll say, than one. Omni is where if you get a ticket, you don't take care of it, we put into the state database, and they can't renew their driver's license until they take care of the ticket.
Okay.
But Omni charges, we had to pay $10. Once it goes in, after 60 days, the link, we put them into Omni. And then once we collect that, we had to pay them, used to be $30. I believe it's 15 now that the state gives. And then they send us a bill every quarter. We have to pay that. And so I'm 99% sure that's what this is. This used to be a lot bigger number because it included Omni and the collection fees, but the auditor took the collection fees out several years ago, so I think this is Omni. And like I said, we pay per quarter. So when she ran this number, we probably hadn't paid one. I mean, so that's a pretty close number, but you can look it up and see what we're.
Class C, we have a lot of people.
You wouldn't have to.
Tickets are up and down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, it's old stuff though. It's how successful we are collecting old stuff. All right, anything else?
Oh, I can add, since you're here, because I was talking with Judge Ashlock, I'm gonna add, y'all have county cell phones. And they're needed would be on the new radio.
Okay.
So, just so you know, stand up mind, letting y'all know.
Okay. I'm excited about having to carry 2 phones. I'm telling I'm excited. But yes.
All right, you ready to go to youth diversion? I'm not having success in looking this up, so I'll keep working on it. Bird. It is, it's close, almost red bottom.
You always also organize, you know.
Yes. She is. Yeah, okay. You already started first?
Yes.
Okay. No, I go first. I'll let you. Okay, so youth diversion, we started, last year, you guys worked with us. I know we have 2 commissioners that I don't think was on the court when we started this, but I think y'all were there to win. So they created a new law that said we had to divert all juvenile cases. And so we come up, as a county, we come up with the idea that we wanted to do it, 1 youth diversion instead of 9 different courts. Now, I know we only have 4 JP courts, but there's also 5 municipal courts in the county. And so we all went together and agreed that we wanted 1 plan, not 9 different plans. And the state gave us that flexibility, and then when they wrote into the new law, that we could do that. And so we come to you guys, and y'all let us start. We applied for a grant to help pay for the position, which we agreed to do, and we were really excited because Jennifer was hired as the coordinator. She wrote the grant. When she scored an 86 on the grant, they told us they were going to give us half the money, which is like $39,000. And we were all excited. And the next week, Judge texted me and said, "Hey, there's no money for the grant." So we got approved the grant, told we got the money, and then a week later, they found out at EdCog that they didn't get any money from the government. They got about 30,000 where they were expecting 80,000. And so there was three people that wrote grants. And one of them was a recurring grant, so they got precedence over us. So we did not get grant money for that. But then we didn't stop. We continued, and I'll let her tell you about this, but we we continue to fight for a grant, and we're still in the process of fighting for a grant. We did hear that we believe we got approved for a grant to the state for 10,000 to help. And so we're working on that. So that's kind of where we're at. And so we started this position.
Well, so what you're saying is in effect, you're saying that the state mandated a new program that's going to cost us anywhere from $70,000 to $100,000 a year, and they provided no support, financial support,
Yes.
when they put this program in place.
Yes, sir. It's an unfunded
It's
mandate.
an unfunded, but just to be fair, there is monies in the county that we could use.
Right, but that's again, that's
Right.
money that,
Just one more thing.
and while the state has a 3 gajillion budget surplus, they put another program on the county that they have not funded.
So-
They're expecting the taxpayers of Van Zandt to pay.
I'm gonna let her keep wearing it out and see this. So I agree with you. Yes.
Like I have
100%.
prepared, and he's
Yeah.
done taken everything.
No, I'm gonna let you talk. I just want to get through the budget part of it, and then we can tell you where we're gonna talk about the program and kind of explain. But yeah, you are correct.
Hmm.
The state, so of course, we're a rural county. All right, and a lot of the bigger counties already had case managers and stuff, and so they can just say, okay, now we're gonna put you over youth diversion. But the rural counties, we were told when we started that the state was really understood our position, and they were gonna really put the focus on grant money toward rural counties. And that was our belief. And we really felt that way, and we thought that, we got an email saying we were approved for the grant, we're gonna get this amount of money. And we thought, well, it wasn't all of it, but we appreciate what we got. And then the next week, there was no money available. So yes, you're right. But don't worry, we've not took that lightly. Jennifer has wrote our legislators. She has, she's went up the chain to, ask for help, and she's getting some good responses. So I'll let her tell you about that. So, all right, any more questions from me? Because she's ready to go. So, all right. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and start over. Okay.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity to present an update on
Event,
present
event. I think.
present an update and our proposed budget. So I've outlined in the handout before you, because this is a new program, some key updates on the program's progress. Under case management on page 1, we've received a total of 72 referrals, and nearly a third of those cases have been successfully completed. My current active caseload stands at 35 youth. In comparison, the target number for a juvenile probation officer is 50. These are students from across the county who are receiving support and structure rather than court penalties. In terms of procedure and policy, we have formal signed MOUs from all 5 of the municipal courts, and I've been administered an oath of office for each court so that I can serve effectively across the jurisdictions. The Van Zandt County Juvenile Probation Department is currently facing staffing shortages and has access to only 8 juvenile detention beds, which are generally reserved for youth charged with violent crimes. Although possession of marijuana is classified as a felony in Texas, the combination of limited detention capacity and reduced staffing has led to the DA's office requesting that most cases involving THC be temporarily processed as a Class C through youth diversion. In partnership with juvenile probation, we then implemented a drug testing protocol on page 2, specifically for youth diverted under these charges to assure monitoring and accountability. Referrals have also expanded as a direct result of the program's strong interagency cooperation. We utilize Project Turnaround, but I've also had success working directly with the Andrews Center staff. I've partnered with the Children's Advocacy Center, DAEP teachers, SROs, and even a school psychologist, making use of every available resource to better support our youth. We created a vetted countywide list of community service partners, helping meet one of the core requirements of diversion agreements. This summer, I'm using the slower season to meet with our partner agencies, both within and outside the county, to explore new collaborations and share what's working here. I recently attended a Texas Justice Court Training Center workshop for rural court personnel. That's a lot to say, y'all. It was an excellent opportunity to learn and network, and I came away with a strong sense of how far ahead Van Zandt County is compared to many other counties in implementing meaningful youth diversion. That progress is a direct reflection of the leadership and commitment of Judge Shin and many of you, and I thank you for being part of the program's success. So, the budget request. Personnel costs are straightforward. I understand the directive to present the budget without a raise. I did include a potential adjustment, especially since much of the program's funding comes from other sources. The line items for office supplies and postage are also straightforward and reflect typical administrative needs of the program. Training costs have been increased to allow for 2 conferences, one focused on justice courts and one on municipal courts, so that I can stay informed of evolving practices in both systems. And the travel request was adjusted accordingly. Miscellaneous costs include the purchase of drug testing kits, which will be provided to juvenile probation staff for use exclusively with youth participating in the diversion program. Vouchers remain an essential tool. Many of the youth we work with come from low-income families, and these vouchers help cover the cost of the required classes. They significantly improve the likelihood of successful program completion. Currently, I'm an associate member of the Justices of the Peace Constable Association of Texas, which is JPCA through the Texas Justice Training Court under JP4 Courts membership. However, because the youth diversion program serves both justice and municipal courts, I am requesting funding to establish separate memberships with both the JPCA and the Texas Municipal Courts Association. That's my breath. So any questions on this before we move into the funding sources on page 4, Jim?
Let's see.
So the funding sources, which is page
So
4.
you're
I'm sorry.
currently operating out of JP4 office, correct?
Yes, in my home office. The IT department has set me up with a laptop because I roam to all 4 JP offices.
Okay.
And the municipal courts. So there is a lot of work that I'm able to start from home and then work my way around to because like the kids that are cited in Wills Point, I see those kiddos at the JP3 office. The kiddos that are cited in Canton, I see them
Okay.
at the JP2 office.
All right. And
So,
what
but my files are housed at JP4. Yes, sir.
what are the municipalities that we have agreements with?
All 5 of them.
Okay.
Canton, Van, Edgewood, Grand Saline, and Wills Point.
Okay.
She got that somewhere on here.
Yeah, it's a page on the
It's on
funding
page 4,
sources.
Funding sources.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
How come Grand Saline doesn't have anything on the funding sources?
So the 4 municipalities have included a contribution to the youth diversion program in their proposed budgets, with funding to be drawn from their respective local youth diversion funds, because every conviction requires money to be put into a youth diversion fund. So the county has one of those and each municipality has one of those, and those funds can only be used for youth diversion activities. So that total is $14,500 pending those municipality budget approvals. Grand Saline is still in discussions and was unable to give us a number before today's workshop.
What is the E-grant?
The E-grant is the grant. As you may recall, our grant application was submitted in February. Judge touched on that. And the allocated funds. So ETCOG East Texas Council of Government represents 14 rural counties, and we are one of those. Like Judge said, we were promised a lot of money. Last year, their grant allocation was $88,000. This year, it came in at $33,000. That's what the state gave ETCOG to give. And so because I scored the highest at CJAC, which is the advisory committee process to defend the grant, Stephanie Hefner at ETCOG submitted the grant to the state. I have worked with the grant manager and the administrator to revise the grant, and it appears that we will get funding that's left over from other regions for a total of $10,000. So, but that is pending final approval. But at this point, the back and forth indicates that that's what will be approved.
You had any conversation with Brent Money's office or Bob Hall's office?
I talked to Mr. Hernandez, and I also talked to Thomas and Bob Hall's office, and that's what kicked the minute that Stephanie came back and said, we only have $33,000. I said, how on earth are 14 counties supposed to do $33,000? And I said, I'm going to reach out to our representatives. And she said, please. And I had multiple conversations with Thomas and Bob Hall's office, who also reached out to Stephanie, who also reached out to our grant administrator, is Chelsea Lopez. She is over public safety grants in the governor's office. And Thomas he said, those are my people in Austin. She's down the street. So we've had a conversation back and forth about that. They can't do anything about the fact that only $33,000 was given this year because we were past budget for budget approval for the legislative session. So they work to see what other regions didn't use their money, and that's where we get the $10,000, we believe.
And Matt Hernandez?
Deflected to Bob Hall's office. So he said, let Bob Hall's office handle it first, and then let's see where that gets you before I intervene.
We strongly feel like next year, when this comes up, they know that we're not just gonna take their answer. So we're hoping that
Are you kidding me?
we'll have a better luck. Yeah. Not gonna let it slide.
Once we get grant funding this year, next year we're considered a renewal, which is given a higher priority than a new grant. So, and then I just resubmit and I can expand on this year's grant. So, and hopefully going into it ahead of time, we can request that intervention from our elected officials, make this a priority for rural counties. So additionally, besides E-Grant, we're requesting $5,000 from the Texas Sister Collector Child Safety Fund. As you know, the county collects $1.50 per vehicle registration, which is allocated to that fund. Over the last 5 years, roughly 90% of the fund is spent annually, leaving an average remaining balance of $9,100. Our request is well within that margin and aligns with the allowable expenses under the law. And I've included a detailed explanation of the funding sources and the applicable laws, both the CCP, the Court of Criminal Procedure, and the LGC, the Local Government Code statutes and articles. Additional funding includes the youth diversion administrative fee, which is $50 for every youth that's put on the diversion, on a diversion agreement. To date, we've collected $2,700. And the local consolidated court costs. For every conviction, there's $14 that is charged, and that is separated into 5 allocated funds, again, detailed on the explanation page.
The $14, what convictions, adult convictions or juvenile convictions?
All convictions,
Mhm.
all convictions, all Class C convictions for all 4 courts. And those are allocated to 5 funds. $5 of that 14 is dedicated to youth diversion, and that went into effect for all offenses committed on or after January 1st of 2020.
So we should be encouraging more offenses so that we can kind of boost that. I don't know.
I can't do that.
I'm just throwing out.
We'll handle them if they get filed.
For the period 1/1/2020 through 12/31 of 2024, which are the complete numbers that I ran for all 4 JP courts, if we take that $5 towards youth diversion, we've collected a total of $40,800.77. And then finally, with Van Zandt County now operating a diversion program, we're eligible to retain 50% of the truancy prevention funds collected locally. Previously, 100% of those funds went to the state, but current law allows us to use a portion of those funds to support the program they're designed to assist. So the TPDF, which is the Truancy Prevention Fund, expired December 31st of 2019. But for any offense that was committed between that period up till that date that we still collect on, the TPDF is still collected. So when that comes in on our breakout report, we are eligible to retain 50% of that number. Some months it's $37, gentlemen. Some months it's more than that, but we're still eligible to retain that fund.
And the 40,000, you referenced $40,000.
Yes.
That money is not necessarily is that the 40,516 on the YD funds?
So under YD funds, the breakout is TPDF, LYDA at TPDF, Truancy Prevention Diversion Fund. Sorry, courts are full of acronyms. LYDAF, it's the Local Youth Diversion Administrative Fee. That started January 1st. That's the $2,700. And then the LCCC, which is the Local Consolidated Court Cost. And I only included years 23 and 24, which is the 17,816. And the TPDF is what was collected previously. There is some confusion on my part in reading the 192-page budget, gentlemen, on where these funds are allocated on the actual budget. I've requested clarification, and that is Kenny and Michelle, I believe, are in the process of trying to figure out where they're appearing. So what I can do on our side is run the numbers in the 4 JP courts to know what we've collected for LCCC and how it should have been broken out or allocated to the five funds. What I don't understand is when it leaves the court and ends up here with the treasurer and the auditor, how that's then applied. So, not my forte. So we're waiting for clarification from them on that.
And your funding sources, that money goes towards your budget, correct?
The local youth diversion administrative fee, the local consolidated court cost, and then, yes, sir, the truancy prevention, and then the child safety fund. Those monies can also be used for youth diversion activities.
So you got the city's gonna give some and the county.
The cities are buying in currently at $14,500, pending final approval of their budgets.
Why was Grant Saline not on?
We just didn't get after yet.
They're still in discussions.
Because you gotta remember, all these municipal courts, they have that LCC fund too. So $5 out of every case is going in
They have
their
it.
budget, and there's money just sitting there they can't spend any other way.
Our memorandum of understanding, though, did indicate that those funds would be allocated toward the program.
It said that we could.
But those, if they're collecting the funds, the only place it can be used is in the program.
Yep.
So theoretically speaking, you would assume that they're.
It's not real hard for them to give it, but now you gotta remember, this is like if they have 18,000 or they have 8,000 in their account, that's accumulated over a lot of years. So
They're
they're
gonna
gonna
have that much every year, of course.
that's right. So they're gonna have to contribute, like the first couple of years, they only have to give us what they have backed up, but at some point, they're gonna have to contribute. But so far, the cities have been very, very open to it, and I mean, we've not had any resistance. So it's gone pretty good. But Grant Saline we just couldn't get an answer in time. They've had a new, so
They got a new mayor.
they got a new, and then their city secretary, Beverly, she stayed the judge, but she resigned. So it's just kind of a hard time to get an answer right now, but we're working with them. We do work together.
So in her budget, we're all, the county's paying for it, the city's paying for it, we're all collectively.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
behind it.
Yes, sir.
And I'd like to say that hasn't happened very often.
No.
County government.
We don't very often.
We're very proud. We're proud that so far it's.
And more than 50% of your budget actually comes from those folks that are being served or folks that have been
Yep.
adjudicated.
And if we could just get a grant, it wouldn't cost the county anything, really. You know, so I mean, we thought they were there, you know, but even without the grant, we still feel like we can, you know, just about fund itself. And then when we do get a grant, it'll just help. And then that'll stretch it out longer. But guys, you know that this doesn't happen without a qualified coordinator, doing her job. I mean, this is tough to make this happen. I'm very proud of Jennifer, and she's doing a good job.
We are too.
Good.
Thank you.
I like your hat.
Thank you.
That was good.
She got a collection.
Oh, yeah, you'll see a different hat every day. I don't know if I've seen the same one twice.
So, but basically, we're fronting all costs and then, it's in our budget, we're fronting the cost and then getting reimbursed by the different.
The municipalities are prepared to cut checks up front.
Right.
So that 14,500 is prepared to come in on day one.
Okay,
As long as the budget is approved, with the exception of Edgewood, who said, tell me when and where. And I said, let's wait till the new budget year. And so the grant is if the grant is approved, it's a reimbursement grant, as you know, as most state grants are. And so the remaining balance, outside of TAC funds, which I believe are sitting, is an actual, fund, then yes, sir.
okay. So, and is there, forgive me if you already said this, but there's another grant that we're looking at too, right? not just through EdCog, but was there another grant we're working on?
Not that I'm aware of at this
Okay.
time. I wanted to be able to get, sir,
Okay.
I want to be able to get through the first grant.
Okay,
So, there have been talks, about the education foundations, because a large population of what I serve are the schools. My relationship with the school is key to the success of this program. And so the schools, the education foundations are investigating whether or not they are able to make donations to a non-education based program, but it serves an education population. So we're looking at that potentially for next budget year with the schools.
Scott, does she have a county phone?
She does not at this time. I have another. I had her.
Okay, because she can use the hotspot on it for,
At the
Access.
beginning, she didn't think she needed one, but that came, she does.
yeah.
I have a burner phone that I use.
Yeah.
But this one we get to use for a hotspot.
I have unlimited hotspot on my phone.
Okay.
I need to get you on.
Yeah.
I got to hear.
I don't want, I would prefer, I'm not a judge. And so I would, gentlemen, I would rather keep up with one
We have-
phone if that's all
We have
possible.
a security issue with you going through, your home network and.
Y'all got the
and a
VPN.
burner
You've got the
hotspot.
VPN on my home network. And then I've got the VPN for net data. And so, it is rare that I would have to use a hotspot unless I, like at JP2, I can't. I haven't had to use my laptop when I go into the municipal courts. I had all my papers printed out because I know that I cannot, there's the possibility that I cannot connect there. So I had to hotspot in Fredericksburg because the connection was, the connection at the hotel was poor at best. And so I hotspotted a VPN and then I connected to answer a question. But it's rare that I use, but I have unlimited, I have a true unlimited hotspot and data on my personal phone. But it's rare that I have to hotspot.
Okay.
I have every form that I have, every policy procedure form that is in place has my burner phone number on it. My business
So-
cards have my burner phone number on it. The kids have been trained to contact me on that burner phone
Why does you not have your 8x8 phone?
because I don't text off my ABA. But I don't. So
What do you use for a printer?
I have a printer in the office and then I have a printer in my home office.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Try to be a little bit more prepared next time.
Sure, absolutely. Is there anything else? Would you like pictures? Would you like successful cases to come in and speak also?
Yeah,
sir?
tell us about successful cases.
The one that I'm working that I'm probably most proud about now is a gentleman who Judge Shin is familiar with also. He's a 16-year-old who has now recently turned 17. 6 tickets in 5 weeks. He just hit a very low spot. He had a bend towards alcohol, ended up with 3 MIPs, ended up with 2 failure to control speed. Those are code words for he had a wreck. And he actually, his 5th ticket his 3rd ticket that I was made aware was in Anderson County. He got pulled over he got cited by a game warden. Mom and daddy didn't know about it. When he showed up in front of me and judged, I mentioned it and he realized in that moment, the reach was great. He had, for lack of a better word, come to Jesus meeting, and he has since straightened up. He has successfully completed summer school, where he had failed at the end of the semester. He took 2 classes in 3 weeks, made straight A's. He is on a delayed enlistment program for the military. And he voluntarily submitted to alcohol testing to help make him accountable. And he is on track now to graduate in December. And of the 5 citations, all of them will be fully disposed of by September before he enlists. So it's a fantastic turnaround. He is highly accountable to me. If he misses or cannot get a drug testing date, like he had school, he said, Miss Jen, I have finals. He texted me and said, I have finals, but I know I'm going to make it on this day. I called. I just want to let you know. So he is working very hard, and this program has given him the opportunity to not have 2 of the 5 on his record. So
You say he's graduated summer school?
he will graduate this December. He will have it.
Oh,
He had to
okay,
make up
okay.
his credits in summer school that he missed
Okay,
from last school year. He made them up and actually did very well. He took English 3 in 3 weeks and scored a 98. His final grade was a 98. Smart kiddo, given a second opportunity through this program.
well, that's good.
So
Those are the kind of stories I like to hear.
absolutely. And so it made a difference. We stood alongside of him, and, you know, grace upon grace. And as long as the kiddos communicate, there is a lot of grace. I've got kiddos that are positive on THC vapes, and they tell me they're positive. They know they're going to test positive. So I give them the opportunity to test weekly until it's negative. And as long as that test is not more pronounced than the previous week, because THC will stay in your system for 30 to 45 days from the last hit. So we allow them the opportunity, and they're so excited when they finally test negative, because that's when they go monthly. So, and they're pretty excited. The test result comes to me, but they know it immediately, and they'll text me and say, Miss Jen, I tested negative. So, and they're very excited about it. So it's successes. It's slow successes, gentlemen, but we're getting there.
And that is part of the, those tests are part of the equipment.
Yes, sir. Those drug testing and the miscellaneous.
Right.
Yes, sir. We purchased the drug test from the same vendor that juvenile probation, Redwood Toxicology. So it's the exact same test. We just have a stash over there because their staff is trained on how to administer them and oversee them. So the kiddos are told they fill out the drug testing protocol. They fill out the consent. They go over there. It's $10 per case for them to get tested.
Okay.
And they know that going into it. And 99% of them willingly submit to it.
Mhm.
So a couple of them, I have to remind them that they're due.
Okay, one more thing. So we have a juvenile diversion board. I know you guys know that, and we met pretty regular early on, but now that we're rolling, I mean, we're only having to meet, you know, maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe quarter at the most. So we want you guys to come. Now, I know we learned in the first meeting that if y'all all come, we had to send out another notice, but we're aware of that now. And so when we send that out, we'd love for you guys to come because that way we can keep you more current. And so anyway, we always let you know, but like we really want you there so y'all can keep up with it. I mean, because it really, I mean, it's really opened my eyes to the fact that the same kids that I was seeing and would not say a word to me, and I knew there was problems, are opening up to the coordinator and building a relationship and seeing progress. And with me, it was just, you know, and I know with the other judges it's the same way. They're just not, they're not, I'm not young anymore. So they don't talk to me no more. Yeah, but it's made a big difference. And so there is some cost involved, but when we're talking about our youth, I think it's worth it. So.
Well, any cases that we can take off our juvenile probation center is a big help.
And we didn't even expect that going in. We thought that this was going to be for the JP courts. I had no idea how much she was going to work with the DA and juvenile and Andrew Center, and I had no idea where it was going to go. So it's really turned into a huge deal. And just so y'all know, I'm just going to tell you this: Kaufman County has already seen what we're doing and have already tried to hire a coordinator. So I'm holding on, but she promised me that's not going to happen. So we're good. But other counties are noticing.
Yeah.
So it's good. Yeah.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you
gentlemen.
guys very much. Appreciate it. Yep.
All right, let's take a 10-minute break. Unless I don't.
Who's next?
There's nobody scheduled for the rest of the day, but we can. We either take a break and come back and ad lib, or just go ahead and end the workshop for today.
We don't have anybody, we have a bunch for tomorrow.
Yes, we do. We can do another road and bridge. Somebody wants to do it, we've done,
Oh, tomorrow's just road and bridge, and then constables. Yep.
right.
Okay, well, let's just come back tomorrow. then.
Danny Ayers said he would come at 11:30.
Tomorrow,
Who?
The guy on the water.
the war will.
11:30?
The aquifer. He's gonna explain the aquifer to us. Shouldn't take very long. Not be very colorful.
Is he gonna start with how to spell it?
Aquifer.
Yeah.
So we are adjourning the meeting for today, correct?
Honolulu.
Yes.
All right.
I wanna go there.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Little gal's passionate about what she
Thank you
does.
for all the technology
Huh? I know.
update.
What do we decide to do?
We're getting out.
We get out of here?
Yeah, we're free. I'm
We all get on, free, if we all get up and leave the running away.
It's commissioner's course.